May and Jeevan, you guys are a young family. I met your 2-year-old daughter. What have you found helpful from this year's budget? You were concerned about preschool costs especially, right?
Yeah, so I think in your budget, you mentioned that you'll be reducing preschool fees to make it more affordable, to be comparable with primary school.
That's right.
Yeah, but so for anchor partners, anchor operators, it's $640, and partner operators is $690.
That's right.
But if I'm looking correctly, for primary school fees per term is $13.
Yes,
so before subsidy, what is...
How do you reconcile the different figures? We said it would be comparable to primary school and after school care.
So together?
Together. Okay. So that comes up to about $300+. And if you look at the anchor operator or partner operator fees, after subsidies, that's where we are going, we are aiming to get to that kind of a benchmark.
Okay.
And we are doing it in 2 steps. So this year we do 1 move, and then following year we will do another move.
Okay.
What about the challenge we faced was vacancies.
Yes.
So
not
we are
enough places,
Not
right?
enough places, yeah. And we got to apply like a year or 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
We applied 10 months in advance and there was no vacancy. So they told us to send a kid to somewhere, 8 kilometers away?
Oh dear.
Yeah, which is not feasible for a baby. Yeah, so that's one of those things that...
For infant care, is that right?
Yes. It was infant care?
Infant care, preschool.
Childcare.
Right.
Yeah. It is... there are tightness in some estates, particularly young estates with many young parents. And so we have to, have more centers. We are doing so, but it takes time.
Surely.
So we are really ramping up the supply. One of the constraints is getting enough teachers, preschool teachers or even carers for infant care. But we are ramping up the training as well, and hopefully over time we will be able to fill the gaps. But it's something that we are aware of, and we are doing our best to catch up with the demand.
Would there perhaps be any plan to have a bigger space for preschools, like how primary schools are allocated land and buildings?
Yeah.
Would this be in the pipeline for preschools?
Yes, we do that. We do already have some of these large-scale centers, large centers. So it's not just at the void deck, where then you're constrained by how many students you can take. But we do have bigger ones in Punggol, in Woodlands. We do have some of these large-scale centers, and we are going to build more of them.
Okay, good to hear.
So it really is just a transitional phase that we're sort of going through. And it's great you're asking those questions because it means she's probably thinking of another kid, right? Yeah, so that's... you don't know about it yet,
It's very good. It also tends to be location-specific.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have this issue in some estates, and then on the other hand, in other estates, you have many of these demand and shortage issues. So we have to find better ways to match the demand and supply.